I got news for you. So today we're going to be talking about the recent images that have been leaked about the Sony A7S III. Yes, I know you probably tire about all these rumors, but these images right here actually give us a pretty good picture of what we're getting in terms of body, in terms of features on the camera. So let's talk about those coming right up. So Sony Alpha rumors posted these images today on their website, and as you can see, they're pretty low quality, but it gives us a pretty good idea of some of the features of the body and the camera. Now, the first thing that sticks out to me is actually the back of the camera where the screen actually should be. And as you can see, we don't have a screen right here because the screen is actually flipped out. So this camera indeed is going to have a very angled flip out screen, similar to the one that we have in the Sony ZV-1. Now, if we look at this image, we also can see that we have some sort of similar properties right here that we also see in the Sony ZV-1, like for example, those two semicircle lines on the side of the back of the screen. We have that. Also, the layouts of the screws is pretty similar. And to me, this image looks pretty legit, even though it's very, very low resolution. So having a flip-out screen is going to be enough for a lot of people to actually look for this camera, buy this camera, or even stay with the Sony system, because I myself, if this camera didn't have the flip-out screen, I would have skipped the camera altogether, because I'm trying to use this camera to do videos like this one, and I think it's going to be a great content creation camera. Now, the other piece of news that we cover in the channel is that the camera may have some rearrangement of the top dials. And as you guys can see right here, we can actually see the dials in the same position as we can find them in the Sony A7R IV. So chances are that we're gonna get almost the same exact body as the Sony A7R IV, as you guys can see. So we're gonna get that deeper grip, we're gonna get the latest batteries from Sony, and we're gonna get the same button layouts. Now, there is one thing that is actually different, and if you actually look at the Sony A7R IV, where you're gonna have the C1 button right now, we're gonna have a movie record button. And this is actually exactly the same way that we have it on the ZV-1. So we're gonna have the flip out screen from the ZV-1, and we're gonna have that record button right behind the shutter release button. And I think that is a really good feature because that tiny little button in the back is so hard to press and find when you need it. Now, the other piece of information we were able to actually collect from one of our subscribers here from Asia is that he's confirming that the camera is going to have a new redesigned IBIS. So this is going to be the first full frame body that is going to have a pretty usable IBIS, and this is something that was much needed on all these cameras, and I hope it's true because IBIS on all Sony cameras is just okay. You can say that it's excellent like other cameras like Panasonic, for example. Now, yes, I know when you actually are talking about a full frame sensor, it's a little bit harder to stabilize a much wider and bigger sensor, but chances are that Sony has nailed this here, and having the flip out screen and some of the other features that we're gonna see in this camera is actually a clear indication that Sony is listening to the users, and IBIS is one of the things that we've been asking for a while. And also, the latest rumors are still confirming that this camera is going to be the very first one with CF Express Type A, which is actually cross-compatible with SD slots. So this is actually really good news, because when you look at Canon R5 and R6, those cameras cannot record simultaneously in some of the modes. So for example, you cannot record on the R5 simultaneous video onto the other card because you have a CF Express, and on the other one you have an SD card. And the R6, which actually has two SD cards, you cannot record in many of the modes, and I believe that you cannot record video period onto two cards at once. Now, Sony has done that in the past. I mean, all the Sony cameras, you can actually record video on both cards, and chances are that now with a faster write speed, we're gonna be able to record even higher end videos, such as maybe 460 onto both cards at the same time. So that is going to be great and groundbreaking right there. Now, the other piece of information that we know is that this camera is going to be priced at around $3,500, and $3,500 is going to be probably the sweet spot when it comes to this type of camera, because remember, the R5 is getting a lot of publicity, but also is getting a lot of heat, right? Literally heat. So this goes to the next topic that we've been discussing here in the channel, that some of the rumors are talking about this camera having zero overheating issues, giving you at least 1 hour of no overheating or no warning popping up. And this is actually going to happen in all the 4K video modes. So pretty good news right here. And again, once again, a lot of people here in the channel have been commenting on other videos that they may actually wait for this camera to be announced rather than jumping on the R5 or R6 because of the overheating issues. So I think that Sony has a winner right here with this camera. especially, you know, not having overheating issue, being able to record a redundancy onto a secondary card, the flip out screen, although some other companies have the flip out screen, the 12 megapixel sensor is going to make this camera better at low light than, you know, the R5 or R6, for example. So I think that Sony is going to play all the cards right with this camera. They're not going to overpromise in features. They're going to give us things that we can use in the camera. And again, it's going to have a 4K up to 60p internally at 10-bit. We're not going to have 6K. We're not going to have the 8K, but to be honest with you, most people out there don't need that type of resolution, and the ones that need go to the much more expensive cinema cameras that have none of the problems that the R5 is having right now. So which camera are you planning to get? Is it going to be the R5, the R6, or is it going to be the Sony A7S III? Do you need all that 8K power? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, we're very, very close to this announcement, so make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll bring the latest as the latest comes in. And as always, guys, see you in the next video.